Hey, I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and welcome back to another video where I talk about what that's like. But do keep in mind that I am not a licensed professional, so with all that being said, well, I don't remember which video it was, but I did say I would make a video. I think, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm doing it now if I didn't, but I do, like, vaguely remember that I said in a past video of mine, where I would make a video explaining why narcissists are miserable people, why we're fucking pessimistic as shit and whatnot. I mean, I already made a video talking about misanthropy. Maybe it's that one. I don't fucking know. So, uh, I don't know if I'm just going to be regurgitating the things that I said in that video. I mean, more or less, it probably will be, but I guess I wanted to more so focus on the individual perspective of a narcissist if I can, at least from my point of view. So, why am I, as a narcissist, so miserable? Well, okay, let me ask you this because I know we've all experienced this, regardless of whether you're a narcissist or not. I mean, have you ever just seen someone and it was obvious that they were like, just such a tryhard? Like, doing things and like for what? And I mean, everyone's had a moment like this. Well, people do care about like a lot of things, so maybe they wouldn't necessarily be able to see it in the way that in which I do. But I guess like I'm trying to paint like an overall image here. Um, I made a video, my chronic boredom as a narcissist, and I guess it's more so in similar to what I said there when I think I was talking about something like the reason why I'm constantly bored or I'm constantly drained is, oh, imagine that you just got off from work and then your friend, like, is up and ready and like wants to do something when all you would want to do is just lay down, basically, or just like relax after you've been hearing pointless, unnecessary noise for like so long, like your job, whatever, or like something you needed to do, something that like the world obligates you to do because oh, you can't just sit around and not do anything because that's being fucking lazy, and stuff. Well, okay, and back to what I was saying about like, okay, think about a time where you just saw someone and it was obvious they were like quite a tryhard. Okay, think about that, but just look at it as like the entire world, basically. And what do I mean when I say that the entire world is just a tryhard, or like we as human beings are just a bunch of tryhards, doing all of this for nothing, and we're just gonna die. So I get up every single day, and I know that my efforts are useless. Like, I'm not able to, like, trick myself like it seems like the majority of people can through their cognitive dissonance. Like, this is for nothing. I'm only doing this for the short term, which is kind of ironic and paradoxical because when you do things in life, people are always like, oh, think about the long term consequences. Think about, like, I don't know, your goals or like your future, like down the line. But it's but when you think about just how like little you'll actually be here in comparison to like not existing, because I'm also adding the period in time where you didn't exist yet, you weren't born yet. It just makes everything look so dumb and like, hollow and just nonsensical, and yet I do it anyway. And I like to think of myself as, someone so much smarter because, like, oh, it's like I see through the code. It's like I see through like the lies and illusions that people just don't. And that's not even true though, because look at me. I'm still here and I'm still alive. So my survival instinct is at least like somewhat strong enough because oh yeah, I recorded this video for people to see, and I'm just here venting frustrations or like whatever. And I didn't kill myself. When maybe this is a thought that most people wouldn't like to entertain, but at least I do think about it here and there. I don't think it's actual like suicidal ideation or anything like that because I mean, like what I just said, my survival instinct, like regardless of like how miserable I am, is still thriving and is still there. So like in a way, I'm still grouped in with all the tryhards of the world. Like every single person in this life, I'm just like, yes, we're tryhards. And despite the fact that I'm like, oh God, annoyed by this person, annoyed by that person, just making pointless noise, like whatever the things that we're saying is just like, like random, arbitrary, like I don't know, sequences of events that people are just going to filter through their own bias, through their own like whatever. And it's like realistically we won't be able to achieve world peace because everybody wants different things and everybody wants, I mean, I've always thought that what maintained harmony is just self-confirmation bias, because otherwise, what do people do? They fight, they argue. I mean, I know as much as possible people try to have civilized conversations of like disagreements, but then like overall, just for like their own peace of mind, that is what people do. They, stick to the people that they can handle more or less. Like obviously, even in those relationships, there's still going to be fights and arguments at times or like whatever. But like, you know, people obviously judge things through like a majority success rate half the time, where it's like, oh, I get something from you, or you're an insightful guy or an insightful person or something, or oh, I don't agree with you on everything, but at very least, or, or like whatever, like people can't be with people that are too different from them, despite how, I don't know, considerate that they try to be. So where we literally have the life just drained out of us. And it's like when I see other people and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so pessimistic. You're such a like Debbie Downer." And I'm just like, I don't understand how like majority of people just can't live in reality. And you might just say like, "Oh yeah, that's your narcissism talking." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, sure. My narcissism is a compensation, Like I'll admit that." But it's funny because I think like this is what I mean in terms of like the effective gaslighting that people can do at a higher degree than me. It's just in a way that's a skill, I guess. That's the joke of a skill that like got our like species going so far, because like you need me to be pessimistic in order to say that okay, I'm draining the life force or I'm like killing everyone's vibe. Life is killing everyone's vibe. Just because you're not constantly thinking about like your decaying process or like whatever, that doesn't mean it's not there. And people act like the more they experience of life, the more like experiences and like things that like they can work on, like the more that, things will be able to like improve or whatever. And I don't know, sure, I'm not fucking psychic, I don't fucking know, but it's just like that is the equivalent of being drained. So to me, it's like I don't understand why it would have to come from a pessimistic person such as myself for people to feel like they're drained, because that is all we do in this life. And yeah, some people might bring up religion or like whatever. I mean, like, I just don't buy it. Like, the only reason we perceive an afterlife is because, like this is what I mean. We're so biased to our experiences that we think we're worthy and special enough to continue even after our deaths, which I think is like so ironic because, like, in a way, I do think of myself as being like more humble than like everybody else because, like, I know I have nothing to prove. I know that nobody actually has anything to prove. And this is just random cognitive dissonance of a distraction to, I don't know, keep going until something gets you or your body just gives up on you. But I'm just like, yeah. So I'm here with that anticipation. And I'm not saying that other people can't comprehend death. Obviously, we comprehend death or like something, but it's like, I'm just here waiting. So, like, if you want to die in peace, you don't want the unnecessary noise, right? You don't want the unnecessary noise. So I know I'm not living life. I know I'm just running out. Like, as soon as I was popped out of my mom's vagina, as soon as anyone got popped out of their mom's vagina, unless you're a fucking C-section person, I don't know. Like, like, okay, see that's the hilarious like funny thing about life is like the tiny moments of like relaxation is enough to trick the survival instinct into thinking, oh wow, maybe this isn't so bad. And I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm still alive, so clearly I fall for it as well. Like, yeah, maybe this isn't so bad, but you know, this is so miserable. This is so just like awful and just fucking hella disgusting. I mean, the moment we're first born, like in a hospital, like I imagine babies are crying. I imagine that we as babies were crying, for example, in the hospital room because there was a bright light just shining in our faces. And then the moment that stopped, oh, okay, I'm not crying anymore. When arguably our first expression as we enter this life is one of like discomfort. And the moment we experience more and see more of like what the world has to offer, we've just been duping ourselves ever since. But you know, we entered a life of pain, and I'm just saying that's exactly why we were crying in the first place. Even if we might have been so ignorant then to understand, I mean, like, it's better to understand now because we exist in the world. And oh, yeah, we see the different ideologies. We understand more of the conflicts in the world. And yeah, that crying made sense, even if it was just, oh, God, I don't like the bright light in my face or like whatever. It's just yeah, like what a joke. And yeah, comedy gets people through life. So that's another form of gaslighting, I guess. Like that's what I've always thought about life. Life is the manipulation of the self. Like have you ever seen Saw? I mean, there's like discussion and talk about like like you know there's like that philosophical undertone where it's like um so many people are so ungrateful to like live life or like whatever, but yet when they're in a trap, like you know, the survival instinct activates anyway. So at least this is where I disagree on Jigsaw. Like you're manipulated to want to choose life, regardless of how you interpret it. Whether or not it's like, um, oh, maybe you're not actually grateful to live life, you'll still live anyway. Because obviously, in order to live feeling ungrateful for life, you have to be able to be alive in order to, you know, exactly what I said, be ungrateful for life. So everybody's just duped anyway. So you're just constantly stuck in a mode of gaslighting, just straight up to yourself, to yourself. And oh wow, when when a radio breaks down, let's say it doesn't play music anymore, we'll just make another one. We'll just like install another one, another one. And when a person dies, they just get replaced by the next generation, and they're replaced by the next generation. It's like the same cycle just keeps happening for no reason. But I mean, what? What? What am I allowed to mean other than the limited concepts of the language in which I understand? Or through biology, through whatever the programming is, you know?